What's up, guys? Welcome to the Brand Builder TV studio. Hey, I'm recording a Q&A session for a podcast that I was invited on to about a week ago. So the way they do their podcast, the More You Know podcast by Riley Moore, is they send you questions. You read them, so I'll be reading them off this sheet and then answering the questions. And the way we're doing it, the way I always do it, is real, raw, and live. So I'll just be reading them and then giving you my real feedback and answers based on what I've done over the years and what I believe works and what I know works through experience. So that being said, interesting way to do a podcast. I've never done it this way, so looking forward to it. And we will also be chopping them up and editing them for our podcast platform as well, Brand Builder TV, YouTube, and all the major platforms. So we'll be sending you information on that as well. So let's jump right in. My name's Daley, the Monster Motivator. Last 20 plus years have built and sold 3 companies in 3 different industries and also crashed one to the ground. So first question, we're going to jump right in. First question is, what advice do you have for becoming a better public speaker? Awesome advice. It's part of what I teach. It's part of what I do in the 90-day Brand Builder Bootcamp. So I have a 90-day Brand Builder Bootcamp, and one of the big foundations of that is how to create and braid in your signature story for digital stages or for physical stages. So it's called your signature story. Your signature story is your superpower. In today's world, in 2020, your authenticity becomes your commodity, but how you communicate that is so vitally important. And this blueprint I actually hand out. These are notes from one of my talks I did about 2 weeks ago at a networking event for entrepreneurs. Anyway, this formula is so easy and applicable. It's simple, applicable, and it just helps you structure, which creates clarity. Clarity creates power, especially when you're speaking. That's why so many people are terrified of public speaking. So there's 4 pillars to this, right? Your signature talk. First is connect with the heart. You want to open up with a heartfelt story that connects you and your audience and whatever it is you're speaking on, right? Right out of the gates, it's going to be that instant connection. And what happens is, once you create that connection with that heartfelt story coming from here, right? Now you not only have an audience, but you have people that actually want to see you win. See, that's another reason why so many people are terrified of public speaking. They think that people are going to judge them on what they did wrong or what they said wrong or how they moved or how they did this or actually it's the other way around, right? If you happen to walk up and stumble and trip and turn around and acknowledge that, you just created raving fans because they've all been there. Now you've walked in their shoes instantly, right? Whatever it is to create that heartfelt story, that connection. And it has to be real. It has to be your flavor. Second pillar is teach real practical content, real practical steps from whatever your industry you're talking about, whatever it is that you are the professional on. So now you're going to give them real value, right? Real practical steps that they can actually apply now or when they leave. Third pillar, reconnect with that heart. Now, here's what's so important about that. The third pillar is reconnect with the heart, right? Here's what I mean. The first heartfelt story, you can do this one of 2 ways with the third pillar. You can leave an open loop and reconnect that first story and finish it really strong, or you can have another story waiting and reconnect with the heart either way. So it's either open loop from your first story and reconnect that and just drive that home, or another story that connects at a whole nother level. Fourth pillar, is where a lot of people fall down. They don't understand how important this is. It is called social proof. Here's what I mean. Most people think of social proof either one or the other. They either think it's their social proof that they have to now show their credibility and why people want to listen to them, which is really important. It's a truth, right? Or they think that it has to be just testimonials from their clients, from their customers. I believe it's both. I believe it's your credibility, your professionalism. Why do people want to listen to you for that industry, for that niche, for whatever that topic is? And then also social proof on your clients, on your customers. And I think when you can combine both of those together, it is an absolute win. So let's go back over this real quick. Signature story, your superpower. Connect with the heart, connect with the head, reconnect with that heart, and drive it home with that social proof. Now you're going to have not just an audience, but raving fans. All right. Second question. What is one of your favorite pieces of wisdom shared on your podcast? Look, our podcast that we're doing is called Brand Builder TV. And ultimately, it's about rising above the noise and elevating your position in your industry in 2020, not 2004. Here's the biggest difference is it's kind of going in reverse. Back in 2004, and I just use that arbitrary year, 2004, it was about your business brand, right? Maybe, depending on what industry you're in, maybe it was your personal brand as well. But I don't care what industry it was back then, nothing like it is today. Now it's reverse. Your personal brand is the epicenter. Your business brand will grow accordingly. That's just the way we are right now. And it's getting even more about your personal brand 2021, 22, 23. I promise you, right? That's why audio and video is so prime. It's so prime because people want to get behind that black curtain, right? It's about, so what we talk about here is branding and marketing in 2020, not 2004, because at the end of the day, if you were on just one platform, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, just one of those platforms, TikTok, you are a global brand, whether you like it or not. So understanding the times that you're living in, so that evolution train, you get to jump on that instead of the evolution train running you over. Hopefully that makes sense. Third question, why is discipline vital in any pursuit? Look, at the end of the day, it maps back to what I believe is the key to success in business relationships, personal relationships, and intimate relationships. What are your non-negotiables, right? The clearer you are on your non-negotiables, the more clarity, the less muddy that water is, not only for you, but for the people around you, for your business partners, for your friends, for your associates, right? For your intimate partners. What are your non-negotiables? And then reverse engineer that, right? At least now, and here's what non-negotiables do as well. It creates clarity for you and everyone else around you, and clarity is power. So non-negotiables, ask yourself, if you don't have real solid non-negotiables, stop what you're doing, right? Step back and start to figure out what are your non-negotiables in all three of those: personal, professional, and intimate. So that's why they go hand in hand. Discipline and non-negotiables. Fourth question, what is more important in your opinion, good habits or high levels of motivation? I think they go hand in hand, right? The monster motivator. At the end of the day, here's what I believe life is made up of, this powerful trifecta: motivation, inspiration, and perspiration. Here's what I mean by that. See, motivation gets a bad rap. People take it out of context and they only give you parts of it, right? There are very successful motivational speakers out there, very household names that don't want to be associated with the word motivation because they don't think it's deep enough. Here's the deal: motivation, inspiration, perspiration. Motivation is the first step in that trifecta because you need something that's going to get your attention and get you to the starting blocks. Motivation is twofold for me. It's getting you at those starting blocks. It's getting your attention, but it's all also creating momentum. See, momentum is everything in life. And momentum happens either to us or for us. And here's what I mean by that. See, when you wake up in the morning, you're creating momentum whether you realize it or not. Is it negative or is it positive? Is it your strongest propeller or your heaviest anchor? You have to decide on that. And I'm a big fan of pre-paving, right? Waking up in the morning. I have now a 2-hour routine, blueprint, whatever title you want to put on it, but here's a title I gave it. Monster Momentum Morning. It's 5 different types of meditation that creates unbelievable, pure, positive, powerful momentum for my day. It is the best pre-paving. Now, I've been doing it for close to a year now, and it's been an evolution. It didn't start out with 5 meditations. It started out with 1 because at that time, I thought there was only 1 type of meditation. So this has become, and it's now part of my 90-day brand builder bootcamp because it is the game changer. So hopefully that answers your question on combining motivation and good habits. Let me finish that trifecta so you guys understand that everything for me is a purpose. Motivation, inspiration, perspiration. Motivation gets you to starting blocks. It creates that energy and get that rolling. But here's the problem. Here's why motivation gets a bad rap. Because you don't have the inspiration, the why that's deep enough. So when that motivation starts to dive, now that inspiration picks it back up and keeps it going. But nothing happens without perspiration. Now here's why this trifecta is so important and so powerful and means so much to me. If it's done in reverse, it's broken. So if you're taking that perspiration, that massive action, but you don't have anything that is inspiring you that comes from in here or motivates you, gets you to the starting blocks, all you're doing is chasing your tail and all of a sudden you're going to give up. So if you do it in reverse, it's broken. But if you take the right steps, motivation, inspiration, and perspiration, it's life 101. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question is, if you could teach a semester of a college course, what would you teach the students, and why do you think that's important? For me, it's a no-brainer. Your self-image. Your self-image is everything, right? Your self-image can be built up, it can be torn down, but it cannot be outperformed. Let me say that one more time. Your self-image is a thermostat. It can be built up, it can be torn down, but it cannot be outperformed. I'm so big on this. This subject hits me so deep that I tell everybody that I come in contact with, the greatest gift that any adult can give any child, whether it's your child or not, is a bulletproof self-image, because you're going to teach that child how to fish and that nobody has to fish for them. And the reason that people are terrified of life, are terrified of what other people think, are terrified of public speaking, are terrified of looking dumb or looking bad, is because their self-image doesn't allow them to move forward. But the beautiful thing about being a human being is you can build that self-image up instantly, but you can also tear it down, right? So wherever you set that self-image, whether it's 68, 75, or 42, you're the one in charge of that thermostat. You can raise it, you can lower it, you can tear it down. That's your self-image is everything. And your ultimate goal in life, to live life on your terms, truly, whatever that means for you, is to be able to build a bulletproof self-image. Let me give you a little life hack on one of the biggest fears that limit most people, the fear of what other people think. Let me give you a life hack on that. Here's how I live my life. I live my life through intention. Here's what I mean. If I use a word or a sentence that offends you, but my intention is pure to give back, that's your issue. You got to figure that out. I can go put my head on the pillow now and sleep like a baby, right? When you can live your life through pure intention, you become bulletproof. It doesn't matter. And as you can see, it's backwards, but you can see my favorite quote: your authenticity becomes your credibility. Your authenticity becomes your credibility, and you can't be completely authentic until you start to build up that self-image. It just won't allow you. Next question. Why is it important to be self-accountable? Listen, I think almost everyone here watching this knows would have to agree that being accountable is so vitally important. And if you're not sure about that, let me ask you this question: how do you like being around people that you can't count on? How do you like being around people that don't do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it? How do you like being around people that just give you lip service, nothing else? Ask yourself that question, because personally, I'm allergic to them. I start to sneeze, my eyes get watery, I get all irritated. I have no time for that, right? Life's too short. So hopefully that helped. And then last but not least, what advice do you have for writing a book? Love it. Got a lot of advice for that. I actually have a program, a digital program that's part of my 90-day brand builder boot camp. And that 90-day brand builder boot camp has multiple digital programs in it. Ebooks and all kinds of stuff, and also has Zoom coaching calls from me. So, but one of the digital programs is called Launch Your Book in 45 Days or Less. Here's why I have credibility with this title. Here's why I have credibility with this program. 2016. Never wrote a book in my life. This was launched on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com in 32 days. Here's the deal. The biggest golden nugget in business that I can give you, and this ties into writing your book, but understand this, the greatest advice ever. And when I didn't follow this advice, and I built the 3 companies and sold them, but also crashed them into the ground. The one I crashed to the ground, I did not follow this advice. This is everything. Everything. Identify your weaknesses so you can enhance them with the people and the processes. So now you can run with your strengths. You can triple down with your strengths. You give me a little example of what I'm talking about. This book was out again in 32 days in 2016. Never wrote one word of this book, not one word. Okay. I connected with, attracted, found, whatever word you want to use, whatever word works for you. I personally like attracted. I'm a big law of attraction guy because that is life 101. I attracted the right people and circumstances to come into my life to allow me to audacity this book to them every other night for 10 days while I worked with my graphic designer, right, to get this book out in 32 days. And my goal was to get it done in a month. I missed by 2 days. So my answer to that last question is identify your weaknesses so you could triple down on your strengths. If I had to write this book and sit down and write this book out that I audioed over to Kelly, my writer and publisher, there would be no book. But because I know who I am, when we connected, she says, I'd love to write a book with you. I said, I got it. I got the titles. I titled everything. I said, but here's the only issue, Kelly. She said, what? I said, I'd rather root canal done than write a chapter. She laughed. She had a belly laugh. And every time I tell people that, they laugh, but it's the truth. She goes, well, where's the book? I said, it's up here. I said, I will audio you a chapter every other night for the next 10 days, and I will have us dialed in with with the graphic designer. They get the cover, the back cover, and the pictures inside done, because I want this done in a month. She goes, "You're crazy." 32 days, we had it done. So there's my answer. If you are a writer, get in there. Write. Get in there and give yourself deadlines, right? Give yourself goals. Give yourself deadlines. And that's why, for me, you know how many people I run into consistently that want to write a book, said they're going to write a book. They started writing a book. They started writing 3 books. They got 4 chapters in one book. They got 8 chapters in another book. They got 1 chapter in another book, but still nothing complete, right? That's why I did this. That's why it's part of my 90-day brand builder boot camp. Let's cut all the bullshit. Let's get down to it. Let's figure out who you are and reverse engineer that. Figure out who you are and reverse engineer that in every aspect of your life, and I promise you, you will win. Guys, listen. Hopefully, you got some gold nuggets out of this. Hopefully, you got some value out of this, and at the very least, hopefully, you were at least entertained. Right? So we will actually have this up on our podcast platforms, and we're on every single podcast platform, major podcast platform. It's easy for me to say, and YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel. If you like it, subscribe, share, comment. Brand Builder TV on YouTube. We're going to start to explode that in 2020. So, guys, hopefully this helped you. And here's what happens. We're at the Brand Builder TV studio, Monster Motivator, Man Cave, Monster Motivator office. We do it one way around here. Monster Motivator style, baby. Ah!